and welcome back to my channel. Last week I did a video all about my Instagram growth strategy for 2021 and the things that I recommend that you do to grow your Instagram. But in this video, we're going to talk about the things that you should basically not be doing to grow your Instagram. Maybe there's some things that used to be popular that I just think don't work well anymore, and basically what not to do because it's just not really going to work anymore and it's not worth putting your time into and wasting all your time trying these different strategies that maybe worked in the past, but in my opinion, they don't really work anymore and aren't relevant in 2021. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first one. The first growth strategy that I personally have done in the past, and I know probably a lot of you have as well, but I just don't think works very well, are comment pods. So if you're not familiar with what these are, they're basically when you join a group of maybe 10 to 15 other Instagram users, and whenever you post a new post, you share that post in that group message in Instagram, and then everybody goes and engages with your post to kind of give it a little boost in the algorithm, get some more comments and engagement going, and to help boost it to your other followers. The thing that I think why this doesn't work is, number one, those people probably aren't your ideal audience, right? The people that are probably your peers and that are creating these comment pods with you are probably not going to be the people that you hope are going to see your Instagram content that you're targeting with your Instagram content. And so by having them engage with your posts when they go up, it's sending signals to Instagram that, you know, a different audience than maybe what you're going for wants to see more of your content. And Instagram is going to start pushing it to the wrong people that follow you, if that makes any sense. So I really feel like it is not a good strategy in that sense, and also in the sense of I just don't think it's a good use of your time. I think there are other things that are going to grow your Instagram faster than having 10 people go and immediately comment on your post that basically it's like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, right? And to me, it just doesn't feel super genuine doing it that way. And in my opinion, I would rather spend my time doing other things to grow my Instagram in a genuine way, and growing my audience in a genuine way, and growing people who are actually excited to comment on my posts when I share something new, instead of trying to force people in a comment pod because I'm commenting on their post and they're also commenting on mine. So that's one strategy that became really popular, I would say, a couple of years ago. Then I would say just there's other things you can do that's going to grow your Instagram a little faster. The second Instagram strategy that I think a lot of people, I think this one is very popular, that a lot of people are still engaging with and still doing and trying to grow their Instagram, is commenting on a bunch of strangers' posts, like maybe going to a hashtag or to people who like somebody else's posts that they share, and just going and commenting on their posts and liking a bunch of their posts and engaging with their content in hopes that they'll check you out and maybe follow you, even though you're not following them. So it's technically, you know, you're not doing the follow back method or anything like that, but you are still commenting and engaging with their content in the hopes that they will follow you. And in my opinion, from my perspective, as someone who gets a lot of these comments, and sometimes, you know, if I have a post that starts ranking on a hashtag, I will start getting like tens of dozens of commenting on one of my posts, basically just trying to get me to follow them. Because when I go to look at these profiles, they're not following me, so I know they're not people who are following my account. They're not accounts that I even recognize that follow me. So this is something that honestly I know a lot of people are doing, and people will spend hours every day going and commenting on all these accounts and hoping that all these people will follow them back. And guys, I will just say, it sounds exhausting just thinking about how many people you would have to comment and engage with their content. And a lot of times, to me, you're doing this so quickly and you're going so fast with this that the comments don't seem very genuine. Like, I'll write something in the caption that is very heartfelt or that's very personal or something that has a very clear call to action on what to comment, and they comment something about just something completely random, like, oh, what a beautiful photo, I love this. And to me, it just doesn't seem like a very genuine comment anyways. And if you are spending 2 or 3 or more hours per day doing something like this, I just think there's other things you could be spending your time doing that's going to grow your Instagram faster. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I created a video last week about what those strategies are. And so if you want to watch that, we'll put it here in the description, or you can just hang out till the end and we'll put it there as well. And you can hop on over there to hang out and watch that and see what in the world I would do instead. And that kind of leads me into the third strategy that I would not be doing in 2021 right now is the follow unfollow method, especially if you're using bots or some sort of program that goes and like follows people and unfollows them. And I just really don't recommend this method. I think especially at this point, Instagram is getting smart about people who are using methods like this to try to grow their account. And to me, it's going to make people follow you just because you followed them, not because they actually want to follow your account and engage with your content. And so to me, I would much rather focus on creating amazing content that's going to naturally attract people to my account that want to follow me so that I have a good engagement rate, so I have people who are excited about following me. And I just think overall, this is just, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of this method, but especially now in 2021, there's so many other things you can be doing like Instagram Reels, which I talk a lot about here in my channel, that's gonna grow your account way more than trying to do a follow unfollow method. And I just think it's not effective. I think a lot of people nowadays, they know that there's people who are trying to do this, and just because someone follows you doesn't mean you have to follow them back. So I would just save your time, if you are trying to spend money on doing something like this, just save all of that and don't go with this method and do some other things instead that are going to help you actually grow. The fourth Instagram strategy that I would say is something you don't really need to focus on when it comes to 2021 is worrying about every single piece of content having the same engagement rate. So something that I think used to be even more consistent is looking at what your engagement rate was across your content when it came to the posts you were sharing, how many people liked and commented on it versus how many people actually followed you. That's your engagement rate. So good engagement rate is usually around 3 to 4% or more. And I would say though, what's been really interesting, especially with Instagram Reels coming into the picture and becoming super, super popular, is I would say that doesn't even matter as much anymore. Yes, it does still matter. Absolutely. Especially if you're wanting to work with brands. They want to see you have a good engagement rate. But I think it's okay. There's a little bit more flexibility than maybe there used to be a year ago for your engagement rate to fluctuate up and down depending on what kind of content you are sharing. For example, if I share an Instagram Reel, I could have it go somewhat viral and get, 5,000 plus likes on a reel, whereas my typical post may get 400 to 500 likes based on the number of followers that I have, because those posts aren't really going to be put in front of a new audience like Instagram Reels would, versus, maybe an IGTV, maybe I do an Instagram Live and save it as an IGTV. In general, I don't get as much engagement on those, and I think that's okay. So I just think, especially with Instagram Reels and how much it's changed things on Instagram, I think worrying about, making sure your engagement rate is the same on every post and deleting posts if it's not the same, or trying to make sure you post at the right time for that, I just think it doesn't really matter as much, especially as it used to. Again, of course, across the board, you want your engagement rate to be really, really good and be focusing on that. And that means you have an engaged audience, which is awesome. But I don't think you have to worry about each individual post performing the exact same, because one could do drastically better than another just because it's something like Reels that's going to be put in front of a new audience. The fifth Instagram strategy that I would really just not focus on in 2021 is trying to make your feed look perfect or super, super cohesive. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think there is something to be said for, having images or having a brand that's a little bit cohesive, has the same general colors or things like that across your feed. However, I don't think it needs to have some sort of perfection level anymore. I think people are looking for accounts to follow where they feel like they're real and genuine and just someone they like to interact with. This is something I dove deep into on that other video last week too, but basically the idea of, people want to connect with people. They don't want to connect with this person who seemingly has this perfect feed and perfect life because of how they present it on Instagram. And so I do feel like there is something to be said for, maybe editing all of your images the same way and make your brand feel somewhat cohesive as much as you can. However, I don't think it needs to go to the level of planning out your Instagram feed for, 2 or 3 weeks and planning each post and being very perfectionistic about what images go in what order so that when you post everything that it looks absolutely perfect. I just don't think that's absolutely necessary anymore. And if you look at my feed, you'll notice I do have a pretty consistent feed when it comes to the general colors and themes and the editing style. I do like to keep that consistent. However, I am not necessarily someone who is planning out my feed in every single post and worrying about how it's going to look in my feed every single time, if that makes sense. I've just let go of that perfectionistic part of it a little bit, and I like it to be consistent. I like people to see some of my images and to think, oh, that's Stephanie Case because of the way I edit or the way, the kinds of images that I am sharing, but I just don't think it has to look absolutely perfect anymore. And if you love this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already. It truly means the world to me, and I would love to know your opinion. What is one Instagram strategy that you think people should be ditching now? Is it one of the strategies I mentioned in the video? Is it another strategy that you see a lot of people doing that just make you cringe a little bit and make you wonder why they're spending all of that time doing that? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on things that people are doing that you think they should just say no to and say yes to some other things instead to grow their Instagram account nowadays. So thank you guys so much. Seriously, so grateful for you guys and that you are tuning in and watching these and loving these. And I will see you guys in next week's video on Tuesday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Bye guys.